Look out there! That's a Savati general. They lead invasions and aren't known for being merciful. Right now, they have the codes to your defense net, which is a bad thing, since a Savati warship waits outside your territory. Welcome! This week I will be reviewing Rules of Redemption, the Firebird Chronicles Book 1 by T.A. White, here on the Board Goddess Book Reviews. A warm welcome to you, my friends. I am the Board Goddess, and I am absolutely thrilled to share my love of awesome stories with all who join me here in my library. Please remember that by liking and subscribing to my channel, you are helping me to continue uncovering awesome stories, to keep creating video book reviews for your enjoyment and entertainment. While you're at it, please feel free to toss a comment or two my way with thoughts on the books I review, as well as things you'd be interested in seeing added to the videos. Or, hey, you could just say hi. Now, before we jump into the thick of it, let me introduce Mad Max, my chief ratings duck. It is due to his incredible talent of collecting all of the important data to compile those all-important points which he then bequeaths unto me in the form of a rating at the end of my review. Right, Max, shall we dive into another incredible book? Epic. Let's go for it. This week, I am reviewing Rules of Redemption by T.A. White, one of my all-time favorite books ever. There are a few select books that make it onto that list, and I'll be discussing the very reasons this story made it. I actually stumbled upon another book by this author in a different series during one of my eternal quests within Amazon to find something amazing, and that I did. I absolutely fell in love with the story and I wanted more. It was then that I discovered the Firebird Chronicles. And yet, I was hooked. Before we jump into the review, I would recommend this book for older, teens, and adult readers. While there is violence, it's always necessary to drive the story. However, it is not graphic. It is clearly without gratuitous and, in my opinion, often needless bloodshed found in other adventures. In a far distant future where we most assuredly are not alone, the human race is found by a group of aliens who become, for lack of a better phrase, some really rude neighbors. The Savati were the first alien race to make themselves known to humanity, and were later responsible for the bloodbath that rained down on Earth. I mean, with the slaughtering, evil experiments, and downright expansionist behavior, is it any wonder humanity wasn't going to put up with that sort of nonsense? The problem? Humanity is weak, their technology is massively inferior, and frankly, they got kind of blindsided. What is the underdog to do? Why, they do what they do best. When facing the bigger predator, it is always wise to use the tools they have available, and utilize the means justify the end mentality for all it's worth. That isn't to say that humans are the bad guys, since the species itself was in a position of survival. We are introduced to Kira Forrest and the snarky AI, Jin. He's a floating droid of lethal power and biting wit, with significantly more to him than is first apparent. The two salvaged the debris of abandoned spaceships left by humanity's enemies from a distant, devastating war. Kira tries to stay under the radar in her chosen work, but something is clearly haunting her. She doesn't know where she came from, and she doesn't remember parents or a family. In fact, her first memories are best left in a dark, forgotten corner and buried. She had previously fought for humanity against the Savati, and after humanity's seeming victory against the aggressive race, she retired. After a particularly exciting job stripping starships, her ship is left in desperate need of repairs, and Kira is forced to the nearest station, O'Reilly, a place she would really rather avoid. Docked at a space station for repairs, Kira will draw unwanted attention from the human military leaders and the visiting Tuan ambassadors, especially after the rescue of 2 Tuan children from a crippled ship. Kira's existence holds the key to a faltering peace treaty with the Tuan, a technologically advanced alien race who dislikes and distrusts humans. As her past and present collide, she is determined to put everything behind her. It's just, there's one stubborn warrior in her way, Lord Graydon. As before mentioned, stubborn, but protective, loyal, yet bossy. Graydon is all of this and more. And he likes to have his own way. As mentioned previously, I am in awe of this author's writing skills, so there was no question I would continue to read her work. T.A. White is also extremely prolific, but though she publishes new stories frequently for each of her series, the quality never goes down. Each book of each series is well thought out, unique, and the characters are such fun to read. Can you tell? I'm a massive fan. As to why I chose this book in particular, though, this series is my hands-down favorite of them all. Not only is it a particularly gripping story to me, but the character resonates with me on a personal level. I just like her. A lot. I was taken by her strong personality within seconds of starting this book. And that feeling never left me throughout every single book in this series. For any writer, it is really frickin' hard to introduce action at the beginning of a story. The chaos needs to be the sort that isn't boring, but it also needs to make sense. There needs to be a purpose to the mayhem. Ms. White perfectly manages this. I was immediately thrust into an apocalyptic world, beautifully flooded with detail, and the clever banter between Kira and Jen, her droid buddy, and there was no escape after that. Further, it didn't take the reader long to understand there is more going on here than was obvious. While this arc isn't uncommon with this type of sci-fi, there is truly an artistry to it. You can't bludgeon the reader with the mystery. Like a giant fish slapped across your face reading Mysterious Past and leave it. Conversely, you can't make it so subtle that when the characters first realize things aren't what they seem is at the end of the story during an epic monologue. That balance was well done in such a way it drew me in rather than having me rolling my eyes at the big reveal. As I ask myself, what do I love about this book? The first thing that comes to mind is, wow, where do I start? As I have stated many times in my previous reviews, I love a well-written book, and this is a seriously beautifully crafted book. And next, the world building, which is the process of creating a believable fictional world. This is handled with such deft detail and verbiage. I blissfully fell within its embrace and did not want to leave. The book's complex cultures, dynamic diplomacy, and amazing attention to every aspect of the world itself. Yeah, I was awestruck. The character development, too, was stellar. This, more than any other point, I want to highlight. The dialogue is so spectacular, I actually lolled in places. Any story that can elicit an emotional response from me is a win in my book. While it wasn't all lighthearted sunshine and roses, in fact, most of it assuredly wasn't, the characters had a fantastic realism and chemistry that was a joy to read. This book was truly a struggle for me to criticize, but there was a super minor thing I'd like to point out. The societal structure of the Tuan does not seem like it could have lasted as long as it appears within the time frame of the book. Now, in saying that, It could also be that a gradual evolution of their leadership altered over time, as is so often the case with our own miscreant governments on Earth. However, in my personal opinion, more information regarding its history would have been helpful. Max, it's that time everyone's been waiting for. It's ratings time. You ready to rate this incredible book? I entirely agree, dear Max. Due to the superb storyline, sinfully well-done writing, brilliant characters, and drool-worthy world-building, Rules of Redemption, The Firebird Chronicles, Book 1, is awarded our highest possible rating, 5 ducks. I have linked to the Amazon affiliate page for this book below. Please do check out this and T.A. White's other incredible stories. I highly recommend them. Have you read Rules of Redemption? Let's discuss it in the comments or in my Discord, also linked below. I am there every day and looking forward to building a community of like-minded indie book admirers. If you have a favorite little-known self-published novel, please feel free to leave a request for video review for readers on my website, theboardgoddess.weebly.com. The link to the page is listed below. If I choose the book, I'll give you a high five in the review. If you are an author of an indie book and would like me to do a video review of your work, please submit a request on my website. The form page can be found below as well. I am also on Instagram, Goodreads, and Twitter. The links are there. When I don't have my nose in a book, I am always up for a book chat or just saying hi. So guys, that's it for now. Thanks so much for hanging with me. Adios until next Wednesday. May your day be epic, and may awesomeness follow you like a sad puppy needing hugs. See you next time. Bye all! While you're at it, please feel free to toss a comment to turn my... words. While you're at it, please feel free to toss a comment to my way with thoughts, with your thoughts?
No, just with thoughts.
With thoughts?
Anybody's
Any thoughts?
Any thoughts, just with thoughts.
Random thoughts. Random thoughts work. Okay. This week, I'm this book for older teens and adult readers. My apologies for cutting out words. Good. We like commas. Comma. It's like O'Reilly.
Yeah.
I'm just remembering your last one-line paragraph and how well that went.
Yes. Further,
Nirvana. Of course it's freaking out, because why wouldn't my camera in particular freak out? All the other R10s are fine. No, it's just mine. Bob. Bob decided he doesn't like me anymore. Bob the camera. We've decided. Well, he can be a George instead.
No.
No?
No.
He's Bob. Okay.
Yes.
The book's complex cultures, dynamic diplomacy, not diplomatic diplomacy. You do realize if I say I twinkled, it's going to sound more like I tinkled, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I had a little twinkle. Oh my God. My heart, it hurts for you. Yeah, gold star for me. Gold stars for everybody.
Chunky.
We do not want chunky.